When I think about my culture, I think about who I am and where my culture comes from. I believe my culture is influenced by the people and the experiences I come across. My culture comes from things that I have molded and developed my personality. These influences are my sisters, parents, family, friends, and my hobbies. My name comes from both my parents' middle names. My mother's middle name is Maria, and my father's middle name is Blake, so when I was born, they named me after themselves. I was born and grew up in a very small town called Kirksville in the northeast corner of Missouri. This is where all of my family once lived, and now are grown and have spread out across the United States. From California and Arizona to Kentucky and Ohio and everywhere else in between. I grew up with a very loving family and very loving parents. I was the firstborn of 3 daughters. I was active in dance and performed countless recitals when I was a kid. I loved playing in the backyard, building tents in the dining room with bed sheets, working out in the garage with Dad, building stuff, drawing, painting, anything crafty, but most of all I loved being a kid. When I was younger, I was a very happy-go-lucky kind of kid. I was the big-eyed, blonde-haired, and outgoing daughter, sister, and friend to everyone. My 2 sisters have been a huge influence on my culture and personality ever since they came around. For 2 years I was the only child, and then came one of my sisters. We bonded instantly and have ever since been best friends. More than 2 years later, my second sister came around and fit in right away. To this day, she also is one of my best friends. I love my 2 sisters more than anything. My family has always been a big part of my culture because we have similar interests and personalities. This can cause for a very fun, yet hectic family get-together, especially on holidays. My hobbies have been about art my entire life. My mother is crafty and an amazing artist. Throughout my early education, I was drawn to the arts and crafts portion of classes. I grew a talent for art and turned this hobby into an interest as my profession. Dance is also part of my culture. Maybe that's because I always loved music, but I love dancing for hours in front of a mirror just to pass the time. I was fortunate enough to learn under the head coach of the St. Louis Rams cheerleading squad at that time. I danced for about 15 years until I became serious in college and art making. Sports are also part of my culture because they kept me interested in the physical part of life. I was part of a soccer team and trained in weightlifting. In high school, I was a varsity shot put and discus thrower for 4 years. Kids are part of my culture. They are very interesting, and I have always loved to be around children, learning and listening to them. I taught Girl Scout summer camp for 6 years before college. I loved every minute of it. I especially love the arts and crafts part. I recently fell into teaching an after-school art program. This is where I realized that teaching was for me, and it motivated me. My friends are one of the biggest parts of my culture because they are most like me. I've developed friendships that have lasted many years. My friends are a very important part of my life. They guide me, they support me, and they are always there when I need them. I cannot imagine what it would be like if my friends didn't help shape or mold me the way they do. Though one of my friends, I met my husband. My husband is also a huge part of my culture and my personality because of his interests and goals. My husband keeps me on track and supports me when I need him. We have been together since November 2000. He is my best friend and soulmate. My culture comes from many things I have come across through my life. My culture has changed through my life and will continue to change and develop as I experience new situations and people. I think my culture, which has been impacted by so many people and things, will become greater quality as time goes on.